Well, good evening, everyone. Well, I guess I should say happy morning because it's not happy Monday. It's not evening everywhere. It's afternoon here in the States. But welcome to Lisa Horton Crafts. I'm Sheryl, and I'm happy to be here today sharing an easy card that you can make with these beautiful Lisa Horton products. Oh, let me see. Let me turn my cell phone down here. Apologize for that. I thought I had it muted, but apparently I did not. Okay, so I think I've got that muted now. And so back to what I was saying, we've got some lovely products from Lisa Horton that we're going to be using again today. I'm going to be doing some hot foiling with this little, I think it's called, what is the color of this particular one? It is holographic facets. So it's a silvery looking foil that I'm going to use for today's project. And then of course the new bold stars. These came out with the Christmas products, but I love the bold stars because you can use them for really any occasion. They're not limited just to holiday. So I'm going to be using the embossing folder and the coordinating layering stencils. And then I'm going to be using one of the press plates from last year's holiday collection. This is the holiday background panels. And I'm going to use this panel for our card. And then I'm using this inner frame from the Set C compositions. And for my sentiments, I'm using both of these sets that came out with the Spring Spellbinders collection, the Very Best Wishes and the Sending Smiles Sentiments. So those are the products. And then my ink colors for today, I'm using Color Shift again this week. Love these inks. They're so beautiful. I'm using Under the Sea and Summer Sky. So those are the projects. Thank you for joining. Let's see who we got on here. Lorraine. Hi, Lorraine and Gloria. Valerie, good to see you. Leslie and Jean and Rebecca. Hi, everybody, and thank you for watching. So I'm going to start with my hot foiling, I think. So let me get this out of the way, move this over here, and I'll bring in my Glimmer hot foil machine, and I'll show you my project. I'm going to do my project. I'm going to use the same colors, but I'm going to fix something that I didn't fix with this one. This is the card that I'm making. You can see that holographic foil, and I foiled it a little bit on the on a piece of white cardstock, and I cut out. So there's little bits of foil on the sentiment itself. But the one thing I did that I'm going to change, this, the background on this panel is just the one panel. And as you can see, it gave me a lot of extra space around it. And so I want to have all foil around this panel. So I'm going to change that up. But this is the card. And then I did ink. I never show my envelope flaps, but I did go ahead and ink up my envelope flap ahead of time. And so I'll do that for today's project. So that's what we're going to be working on. And to address that problem I was telling you about, I took this panel and I put it down and I made an ink mark so I can see how wide it is, because I'm going to foil once, and then I'll move it over to here and foil it a second time. So I need to know where that end mark is so that I can do that. And then I'm also going to turn this panel so that that cutoff star is up here at the top, and it won't impact me when I go to make my cut. So I'll go ahead and put this on my hot foil plate. And since the platform is ready, I'll turn the timer on. And then I cut a wider piece of cardstock than I would normally use. And you don't really have to do this. You could, cut it, but I just made it a little wider than I normally use. And I'm going to put it up right at the edge, so I'll know when I do the second one to put it in that same spot. So that's how I'm going to try. There's still going to be a little bit of mismatch in the center, but that's okay because we're going to cover that up with our sentiment strips. And I did go ahead and cut my foil. Let me turn this fan off because it's not going to let that foil stay down there. And so I talked a little longer than I had the foil on there, so I'm just going to let that sit for another extra second or two so I can make sure that that foil is good and hot. And then I've got my 2 plates here. On your Glimmer system, this green plate is the heat resistant plate, and then the regular spacer pad goes on top. And it's kind of hard to see on this holographic because that looks pretty shiny in and of itself, but you can always see that that is actually the shiny side is down. So I think we've given it enough time now. I'll go ahead and put my paper on, and again I just want to make sure I'm kind of placing it in the spot where I can realign it. And we'll put these on, and then I'll move this off camera and run it through my embossing machine. Okay, so we'll bring that out and take a peek and make sure everything came out okay. And it did. So now what we're going to do, we got to pay attention to where this is, and then we want to move this over to the other line. And kind of get that lined up again. I need to use my little pokey tool to move it where I want it to be. And butt it up to that line as close as I can get it. That looks pretty good. And then we're going to do the same thing. I'm going to heat it up on this side, put our foil down and turn our timer on. And then we'll foil this other side. Oh yeah, Lorraine, you should, you're going to love having this Glimmer machine. They've got a gazillion foil colors, and it adds so much shine and shimmer, and Lisa's press plates foil beautifully. So you'll be delighted if you get that as a Christmas gift. Okay, we're waiting on our timer to finish up. Doesn't take too terribly long. Take a sip of water here. Oh, excuse me. Thank you for that. Okay, so we're ready. We'll go ahead and put this back down. Okay, and we'll do our plates the same way and run it through. And if I calculated correctly, I should be able to die cut and have a full panel. So let's see what we got here. Let me move this out of the way. Okay. So yeah, so it came out pretty good. You can see the little mismatch, but we're not going to worry about that because, like I said, we're going to put a sentiment over that. So that's a way, if you have a random pattern like this and you want to make it bigger than the plate, that's a way you can do that. So let me find a little piece of tape here. I'm sorry, I don't know why I'm having problems with my throat these last few days. I'm going to trim this piece down just a little bit. And then I'll run this through my embossing machine to die cut it. I don't know what the weather is like where you all are, but oh my gosh, it is sweltering here in Ohio. Well, it's sweltering for me. Some people probably love it, but when it gets above 90 degrees Fahrenheit. So there's our panel. That's going to be that's going to hold our sentiment. And then the next thing I want to do is move this out of our way. I want to go ahead and bring in my Ultimate and my layering stencils. There's only 2 stencils to this, and I've got a piece of white cardstock that's cut down to A2 size, and it's going to be our full backdrop. So I just want to line this up so I just want to make sure I've got some stars everywhere. Okay, so this is stencil number 1, and I'll put that down. And I think I'll start with Summer Sky. It's my favorite color. Well, it's not my favorite. All of them are my favorites. I say that every week. And for this, I want a nice solid green there, so I'm just going to start inking and fill in all my stars with green. Super simple for this one. And I like how the stars are always so cheery looking to me. So I chose some bright colors, but you can do this with muted tones, anything, really. Oh, I'm glad you had some nice breeze. That's the other thing, Lorraine, that we're lacking is breeze. It's just been very still and hot. So fortunately, though, my backyard is very breezy. It's kind of like a wind tunnel back there. There's lots of trees. My neighbors have trees, I don't. And I get to take advantage of the breeze that comes from their trees, which makes it very nice to sit out in the evening back there. But I'm just going through with the Summer Sky ink. And this is one of the color shifts. Super easy to do. I could take a bigger brush and go faster, but I worry about these little pieces that aren't connected. I don't want to bend those because I'm pretty heavy-handed. If you have a light touch, it's nothing to worry with, but when you have a heavy hand like I do, I try to look out for those things most of the time. Did you guys have fun with Lisa's show on Friday? I had to watch the replay, but I thought it was awesome. She had some fabulous deals. So if you haven't gone out to the website to check out the Friday night specials, you may want to do that. She had some goodies, and there were some goodies that I'm sure are gone by now because they were limited stock. Okay, going all the way around. Almost done. This one inks up quickly, and I try to just double check and make sure I get all the way in those little points on the stars. First time I inked this up, I didn't get all the way down in those little crevices because they're nice and pointy, but it's noticeable on your card if you don't get those little crevices down at the end. Of each one. Okay, so I think that's it for stencil number 1. Nice and easy. And then stencil number 2, we'll switch and do the other part of the star, but I'm going to do it in Under the Sea, which is a pretty blue color. I like these colors together. And I'm trying to make sure I get my stencil down and that I'm not inking where I shouldn't be inking. Okay. And then same thing, just go in with your blue. The middle of this on mine is lifting. I probably should have taped that down. Let me go ahead and ink the middle first. Uh-oh. I did not pay attention. These little lines are very delicate in the design, but they're very pretty. Getting those tips. I'm just working my way around, grabbing all the I'm doing this trying to make sure I keep that white line there, but I'm so heavy-handed. I try not to be. But even when I'm trying to use a light hand, I still manage to wiggle. But it all comes out just fine in the end anyway. I always end up moving that line. There's another part of the star. Almost missed it down here. I think I'm getting it. There's a little teeny corner over there. Oh, thank you, Joanne. I'm glad you liked the cards. So easy. You can't hardly go wrong with Lisa's products because they're so well thought out. All the little details that make it easy for you to create a card that people think you spent hours on, and it's really just minutes. And I love that. This is a fun one. If you could do this here in the US, red, white, and blue stars for the 4th of July. This would be a great one to use. Just a few more. This seems there's a little more stars on this particular one, but there really aren't. It just feels that way. I guess because I'm trying not to mess up my line. It is so easy. And I love stenciling. It's just very relaxing to me. My fun escape. When things are crazy, I can always run away to my craft room, and stenciling I can think sometimes. Oops. We moved it. Oh well. It's okay. It's not the end of the world. All right, I think I have them all inked up pretty good. Looks pretty good from here anyway. Okay, so now we've got that done. And how am I doing on time? I'm doing okay. All right, so I'll move this out of the way. I was going to ink up the flap on camera, but basically all I did was put my envelope flap down, and I brought my stencil over and I just taped across it and then just inked it. So I won't have you watch me do that, but that's what I did in case you want to do that with your envelope flap as well. I'll do it later off camera. And then I think we've got all of our pieces and parts together because I did go ahead and do my sentiment ahead of time, and I'll show you those pieces. Let's see here. So here's my A2 card base, and then I chose a happy birthday, so we're going to put it onto our panel. I inked up some white cardstock and did my 3-level cuts, and then this one I had another foil panel to cut out my sentiments, and so it just gives random little bits of silver on there. You don't, that's obviously optional, but I just like to have that little extra on there. So that is already done, and then we'll put this onto our card base. But before I do that, I do want to go ahead and use the embossing folder to give us a little extra texture on this. I didn't emboss my sample, but I think I want to emboss this one. So we've got the Bold Stars embossing folder, and we'll just get this lined up here. Oh, let's see. Do I have this the right way? Let me see. Nope, I think I had it the right way around. Let's see where on, there we go. I couldn't see it. Initially, I couldn't see where my center star was supposed to go. There we, and then I'm trying to get all the little stars as lined up as closely as I can. Everywhere. And it looks like I just moved it. Okay, now we got to get this piece down here while holding my top. Nope, wrong way. Oh, there. I think I got it. There we go. So we got all this. Oops. As soon as I thought I had them all, there we go. Okay. Hold that tight and run it through. I'm using my embossing plates for my Platinum 6 and running it through the embossing machine here. Pull that out. I think I managed to keep it. Yeah, I did pretty good. So it's got nice, deep embossing that you can, and then there's that shimmer from the inks too. So it's got a nice little shimmer and deep embossing. So we'll go ahead and adhere this to our thing. I can use, I feel comfortable with tape with this one because there's a lot of flat surface for that tape to adhere to. But typically with my embossed panels, you want to use glue because gives you a little more space to connect, for the paper to connect to your card base. I'll put that down. Well, the glue is on my finger. Okay, and then I'll burnish that just to make sure we got contact everywhere. And then I'll put my panel together, my sentiment panel. And this little, remember this little star that we knew would be not completely lined up, and now we'll use our sentiment to cover that, and the rest of it looks pretty good. So we'll go ahead and just use our glue and put these pieces down. Uh-oh, I lost my, there we go. Ooh, that sounds pretty. Lorraine, those color choices, I like that. Hi, Beverly, how are you? Hope you're doing well today. Thanks for watching. Okay. Let me just put this down kind of in the center. Sorry, I got to pick it up and straighten it up. That looks straight to me. Even? Yeah, that looks pretty good. So then we'll go ahead and add the other sentiments on. And I did this in um, uh, pink color too. One of my girlfriends loves pink and lime green together, and her birthday is coming up next month. So I thought I would do her birthday card this way. Got lots of color choices with all of Lisa's fabulous inks. And put that down there. That looks pretty straight to me. And then we're going to adhere this to our card front with some foam. I don't know what I did with my little pen. It must have fell on the floor. So we won't worry with that. But let me get my foam and we'll cut a couple pieces for the back of this. And I'll do my best not to cut my card this week. And that's pretty close. Hi, Roadrunner. Happy Monday. Thanks for watching. I'm glad you're here. Okay, and then I think I'll just stick this little guy down there just because he's extra and I can. All right. Pull these off and get this out of the way. I'll move my tape out of the way. Oops, guess you need to see what I'm doing, don't you? Okay, so there we have it, and we'll put this down on here. There we go. And so we've got two, one with a little white border and the other without. And then the envelope flap that coordinates with it. And then here's the one that I did for my girlfriend. And I used a pink foil. And what ink did I use? I used, which one did I grab? No, Shocking Pink. So I used Shocking Pink and this beautiful summer sky for her card. But I thank you so much for watching, and I hope that you have a wonderful week. Be sure to check out Lisa's website to see all the upcoming activities. Claire will be live tomorrow, so be sure to check her out. And I thank you so much for watching, and I hope that you have a wonderful week. I will be back next Monday with another card to share. So have a fantastic week, and we'll see you next time. Bye for now. Thank you all.